Gallagher, the mayor of the city of Bettendorf, Iowa. Today is Friday, July 18th, 2025. Welcome to City Hall Chambers. We're upstairs here at 1609 State Street to talk a little bit about what the Iowa State Legislature did in its session this year, the 191st General Assembly, and how that affects the city of Bettendorf and all of you who live here. And for that, we welcome our Assistant City Administrator and Director of Economic Development, Mr. Jeff Reiter, to the Mayor's Message. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me again. It was a long session this year. We sat around for quite a while waiting for a lot of outcomes, so we're happy to...
A couple weeks after their per diem ran out, so they were trying to get a lot of things done. Some things we'll talk about are on the headway for next year, but the things that we really want to highlight start with the things that changed this year and that will affect us here at the city. First, tell me about ADUs and what that might mean. Yeah,
so ADUs, Accessory Dwelling Unit. This year there was a lot of thoughts and questions about what those look like, how they may be arriving at some new decisions here for the city. But one of the big things for the city of Bettendorf as we look forward is we want to have the ability to make sure that the character of neighborhoods is really kept and that integrity is there. So they've given us some ability to make sure that character in a neighborhood is kept if an accessory dwelling unit is put into place.
Speaking about essential characters or characteristics of a neighborhood, there's been a change in the law related to variances. That's when you might come to the Board of Adjustment and ask for a change in what the current zoning ordinance tells you so that you can build or do the things that you want to do. And the standard by which the Board of Adjustment will look at your request has changed. It used to be an unnecessary hardship must be proven. Jeff, that's a new development.
Yeah, it's really intriguing, and just for the folks at home that are watching today as well, our Board of Adjustment, like in all municipalities, it's a governing body, so their decision is final. So what they've really tried to do here is give the Board of Adjustment some tools in their toolbox to make very informed decisions, while also helping you as a resident with some of those needs that you may have relative to your home and your family. So there's a lot of times when maybe grandma has to move into the home, or you're looking at an alternative for someone in your family that may have some needs that you can help with. So they really try to make the playbook a little bit more broad, but still, again, maintain the character and integrity of a neighborhood. And that's really important because your neighbors in your neighborhood are the long-standing thing that are there, where an ADU could intently be a temporary thing.
Yeah, so you don't have to prove that unnecessary hardship, but it comes down to, is it practically difficult to make it happen? And then the Board of Adjustment also has that, will it change the essential character or characteristic in the neighborhood? So it's a little bit of a change. I don't think it'll affect us too much. I think Board of Adjustment typically looks at and hears from the neighbors about their concerns and really looks to the characteristics of the neighborhood. So that one may not be much of a thing. But there's other things that are coming. We got some changes to our open meetings and that affect our open meetings, but also some notice provisions. Tell us about those.
Yeah, so notice provisions have changed a little bit, and actually, personally, I think that there's some things that really help the city from a fiscal perspective. Public notices have changed quite a bit, and there's an opportunity for the city, all cities, to maybe take advantage of this a little bit more. In the past, you had to publish a notification in the newspaper, for which those cost us thousands of dollars every year. And one of the big notice provisions that changed is we do have some digital opportunities there and some ways in which we can make it a little bit more economical. That's a big deal that Deputy Governor Knoyer was really after, and I think she got some good satisfaction there.
I think it helps all people see those notices too, because you have to read the paper to get the notice, or come into City Hall to see it posted.
Correct.
This is just taking advantage of the digital world, right?
That's correct. I mean, as we all know, we utilize our phones, our tablets, our computers a lot more, and typically in a newspaper setting you find very small print, very long-winded type of displays, and these are opportunities for you to really get the information in a way in which you want it, which is typically a digital format. So it's economical, and it's more contemporary.
We're 2 weeks after the 4th of July. You probably heard about the fireworks changes, and definitely you saw a lot of fireworks around the 4th of July, but the state has taken some more decision-making, local home rule, if you will, away from the cities with regard to fireworks.
Yeah.
Jeffrey, isn't this fun? Every year we got something new on fireworks. Tell us what it is this time.
It is, and respectfully, it is the 4th of July. We do like to celebrate. At the same time, there are certainly some safety and some other situations where folks do struggle with those fireworks. But the reality is, counties and cities cannot prohibit the use of fireworks on July 3rd, July 4th, or December 31st. So we can look at times in which they are able to be utilized, but we cannot prohibit those opportunities for residents to utilize that. So in this case this year, there were some certain times of the day when it was rather robust usage of fireworks in our community, but the city and the county do not have control over that, and we cannot prohibit that.
They've given you the window on those days.
Correct.
That you can't prohibit. You could make it more. Ours was
Correct.
more restrictive, so we immediately passed a ordinance to be consistent with the state law.
That's right.
The legislature also changed something in DEI. That's not something that we should be hiring people for just because of that. We're able to look at the best candidate for the position. I'm not sure
Correct.
that'll really affect us much here in Bettendorf, but
We try to do that anyways.
that's right, and
Yep.
that's something that I think will maybe ripple in other areas, larger cities perhaps.
Correct.
But they also made some changes in some of the funding that's available to cities
Yeah.
in certain categories through the Economic Development Authority.
Right, so the IEDA, Iowa Economic Development Authority, has a few tools in their toolbox that they can utilize to help support growth in our state. And the biggest changes we saw this year were the opportunity to be a little bit more liberal with interpretations on some industrial and manufacturing projects. There were some pretty ratcheted down training tools. Some of those training tools have been expanded to now include some equipment costs, which is always a good thing here in the manufacturing space, to have some capital costs that may be able to be supported. So that's a really good one. The other one that I'm very interested in, and I think because of the TBK Bank Sports Complex and other opportunities like that across the state, there's the self-supporting entertainment district legislation that we're hopeful will be coming forward as well, where entertainment complexes like that can actually impose an opportunity or a fee structure to support them. You may have seen these at Disney World, Wisconsin Dells,
Chicago, Milwaukee,
yeah.
they're everywhere.
It's an opportunity for like a 1-cent add-on to your bill, and all those dollars collected go into the greater good of that complex for capital investment, for streets, roads, public improvements. And we believe it is a really good thing. We have a great tourism destination in our town.
Correct.
We know it's going to get bigger and better. There's a lot of expansion plans that could be coming. So we see this as a good win for the community of Bettendorf, and also across the state. There's a lot of opportunities for these sports complexes to really see a benefit from that.
So we got some good news for the sports complex, but we
Yeah.
also have a couple industrial spots that we've been working
Right.
with for years to try to find this type of money. So we're hopeful
Yeah.
that that might kind of pump into our community as well.
Correct. It's something that was in play some years back in a little bit different form, and it's kind of a resurrection of it. Tax credits are a great thing because they don't necessarily come out of the taxpayer's pocket, but it's a credit or a benefit to an industrial project for uses and capital projects that they may have. And like I said, it doesn't create a direct imposition on a taxpayer.
So Representative Gary Moore, Senator Scott Webster, Representative Mike Vondran, all doing good work for us because that's really going to help the cities of Bettendorf and Davenport and some of the projects that we have going on.
Yeah.
So thank those folks when you see them out and about. We appreciate you joining us for the Mayor's Message. Hopefully you've learned a little something about what the state has done to affect the city of Bettendorf this year. Some good, some bad, as it always is, and every year we really appreciate the time and effort the folks that we send to Des Moines put forth to represent you here in the Quad Cities, especially in the city of Bettendorf. Have a great weekend.